My name is Tony, and baby boy Alex
Ah, in the saggy flesh. Hello, how are you
in
doing today?
Shaggy. I can't wait till you're old and Shaggy.
Yeah, you're
That
not
just
gonna like
means
these.
that. What? What?
No. I was gonna finish my sentence, but I think everybody knows where it's going. All right.
Dirty.
I'm one dirty boy. I can't not admit it.
That's a good thing. You
That
dirty man.
that ape men like food and
Num num.
and and sex.
When when I picture you saying like sounding like an ape, I picture you taking a shit in your hand.
Have you heard of that one gorilla versus 100 human like trend recently?
Mm-mm. No,
So people online are debating 100 humans versus one silverback gorilla. Who do you think would win?
with no weapons or anything.
No weapons. It's just a swarm of 100 humans versus one silverback gorilla. Are you pro gorilla or pro human?
That's a really tough one. I'd say gorilla. I couldn't imagine like
I don't
I
know,
mean, you'd have to
man.
go for like the nuts, poke an eye, like. But even then, how are you gonna stop it? You don't have the physical strength to choke it out.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it. That's all you
here's the
got.
thing is that a silverback gorilla is super durable. This is so off topic for what we're talking about today,
We'll get
but
to the topic of self compassion. Give us just a minute.
yeah, give us just a second. This is really important. Silverback gorilla is so durable, but 100 humans, like, do you know how much 100 humans is? It's a lot.
Yeah, but like you can't combine their strength together. Like yes, a couple of them they'll attack, but the gorilla's so powerful. Dude, the
Do you
gorilla
think
swings
that,
its arm. There
yeah,
goes
but
12 humans. It
don't
swings
you
its arm
think that
less 9 times. Done.
don't you think that the gorilla would get tired after human 30, 40,
Not with
and that he'd be
knocking.
easy pickings?
I don't know. What? Have ask AI.
I don't fine. Well, we'll get to this later, all right?
Alex is going
Anyways,
to do some research while I'm talking about the topic,
yeah,
which the
go ahead.
topic is why do we struggle with self-compassion? Self-compassion? Why do we struggle with self-compassion and how do
You
we
sound
fix
like
it?
a fool.
Man, the gorilla thing got me going.
Oh yeah, now
Got
you're
me
pressed.
going. Yeah, I'm ready to, tackle a gorilla right now just to prove
Gorilla,
my point.
who would win? I have the most premier version of ChatGPT. Uh oh, he says the gorilla wins easily. Oh shit. Aw, dang it, dude. All right, yeah, we can go to self-compassion. I'm gonna need it after this
Yeah.
heartbreak.
So the topic again. So why do we struggle with self-compassion? And the second part to that is how do we fix it?
Do you struggle with self-compassion, my friend, or did you, and now you're better?
This is such. I texted my mentor this today actually, and my whole journey I struggled with self-compassion, especially after my mom got sick, passed away. In my early 20s, I remember hating everything about myself, bawling my eyes out, staring at myself in the mirror. And I made a promise to myself that no matter what happens in this life, I'm going to learn to unconditionally love you. So that's where I was at. Basically, zero self compassion. And it wasn't until I self developed and leaned into my emotions, understood a lot of what was going on behind the scenes, the core of it, that I learned to unconditionally love myself. And I reached that. There was not a day, pretty much not a, not pretty much, there was really no self criticism, no self judgment for about 2 years. And then over the last year and a half, I kind of fell back into what I call the matrix, or like this falling into cause and effect, where a cause outside of me affects me instead of causing an effect, creating an emotion or a manifestation from within that, you know, determines my worth. And not until about 2 months ago did I start working on this again and my habits and talking to myself in a positive way to where about 99% of my life is really positive. There's some self doubt, some self criticism, um, So I wouldn't say I'm 100% providing self-compassion, but I'm growing every single day, and I'm doing it as often as I can.
That's important, right? Admitting that there is steps to this, and every single day, as long as 1% is there, then we're good. But once we give up and we start getting very complacent or just start accepting the mundaneness, then that's when I think we get to our lows, if that makes sense.
It does. It definitely does. And this gave me the ability to understand, if I'm not doing my daily practices, if I'm not focusing on what I'm grateful for, if I'm really not taking control of my life will take control of me. And that's what happened. Is traumas just started surfacing, and I didn't even know it. It was 1% the opposite way, right? Either we're growing or we're not.
Yeah,
We don't really stay like stagnant. We don't really just, stay there. Either we're upgrading our life or we're downgrading our life.
makes sense. I think I am in the realm of going up every day, but I do not know. I look at myself in the mirror and I see the fat on my body and I know like. I hate it.
How come?
Uh that's a
Let's get
very,
into it.
very complex question.
Well,
Am
hey,
I
so you
confusing am I confusing self-compassion with self-love?
explain that.
Well, the way I see it is self-compassion is more on the emotional basis and really feeling your emotions as they go. Self-love is more on the physical spectrum. Am I wrong about that? Or are they kind of the same?
They're kind of the same. So self love is providing love to yourself in all areas. It's such a broad term. So you have your physical walk of life, your spiritual walk of life, your emotional walk of life, financial walk of life, and social, and some others. But those are the big ones. Self love could be talking to yourself with self compassion. Self love could be forgiving yourself for choices you made in the past. Self love could be providing inner child work. Self love could be eating healthy. It's really doing things to yourself that is loving. Self compassion is providing compassion in the way of self love. Like, not in the yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah, I do. Back on the premise of my fat ass. When it's growing up, I had a grandpa and a dad that were both like pretty fit my entire life growing up. My grandpa was in the circus. I know I am a carny. I
That
apologize.
is cool. What did he do?
He was one of the stronger guys on the team, and he was doing all the acrobatics.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Did he,
and
what
he
circus
was
did he work for?
shredded. Huh? What?
What circus did he work for?
The Ringling Brothers.
That is so cool, dude.
No, yeah, my dad and my grandpa, they were both in the circus along with my grandma, and well, that's actually how my grandma and grandpa met was through the circus because my grandpa was one of the best acrobats in Bulgaria at the time. I saw you sneak that Zen in. You can't fool me.
Not as
And my
in. It's an
grandma,
on. Get
it's an
yourself in
on.
on.
Get yourself in on. And my grandma was one of the performers. She would like put on all the costumes and ride the elephants and do all the crazy stuff with the animals. And my grandpa was doing all the physical stuff. And so they had my dad, and my dad was one of the unicyclists that would go on the tightrope, and he would just, I know, my family's background is insane, which is why I feel very average and mundane because I have so much to like compare myself to, right? I know I shouldn't. I know I'm my own story. I
There you
understand
go.
that.
Comparison is the thief of all joy.
I agree 110%. It's very deep rooted for I'm looking at you camera. It's very deep rooted for me to look about this, but do not compare yourself to others, all right? You are doing your own story. Anyways, for a long time I was heavy doing comparisons. Like this is all I would do. I still do a little bit to this day, but it's not as potent as it was I want to say in high school where my I saw pictures of my grandpa when he was like 18, 19, 20, and he was absolutely ripped and shredded and looked fucking beautiful. And my dad was along the same lines. He had like a Bruce Lee body, literally. And so when I look at myself and I see all this fat on me, I get so self-conscious about it. But there's nothing I can do about it. I have not just my dad's side of the family, I have my mom's side of the family. And so I inherit all their good genetics and all their bad ones. I inherit everybody's stuff. I am the process of everybody's stories culminated into myself. So it was really hard for a long time to show myself any self love or self compassion because I had so much examples of what I possibly should have been.
Mm. So almost
So,
like the expectation.
yeah, and that's the thing. Nobody really placed, like, the body wise stuff, nobody really placed those expectations. I kind of did it because I was so impressed with what they were showing me in the past. I wanted that so bad. I still want to look good and to feel good and to perform good to this day. That's never going to change. But I need to recognize that I need to do it for myself and show myself self compassion and self love and not do it for the reasons that are more like, I just want to be better. I just want to be better than them. No, 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 no. I can't keep going on that train. It's kind of unhealthy.
That's there's so much that I'm seeing that I'm understanding. So there's this comparison with the greatness of them and minimizing our greatness because we don't meet their greatness in the way that
Exactly.
they showed up.
Exactly.
Really, have you acknowledged how much you've grown in this area? Like, really, not just said it, but felt that acknowledgement?
Yes, and I've began to understand it more over the past 2 to 3 years, fairly recently actually, because uh, love you, mom, love you to death. Uh, she always calls me like fat, or you're getting chubby, like oh your dad wasn't like this, oh your grandpa was this, or like your
So it
entire
sounds like
family.
you didn't put it on yourself that you might have.
Maybe not, maybe not. I also recognize though before anybody started commenting on my weight or commenting on how I look, there was always this image in my head of what I should be. Does that make sense?
Why is that?
Because when you look up to people that like you really look up to them, you want to be like them. And so I wanted to be my grandfather, my dad. And before anybody started telling me about what I should do and who I should be, that was always deep rooted because when you grow up and you see your parents, you follow them. And with them teaching you, you start to become like them. And then you become their positives, their insecurities. Everything that is them is passed on to you, and then you become a person out of them.
That is so that key right there. If we could just blast that to the world, so many people will upgrade their life. If we don't upgrade ourselves, guess who that falls onto? Our kids.
Yeah, everything. That's why self compassion is super important and self
Mhm.
love, is because we're the accumulation of everybody's memories and how they instill their behaviors on us. It's up to us how we perceive it and what we make with it. And a lot of the stuff that they pass on to us can be bad, which is why showing us that self love shows us that maybe this isn't always the part of me that was me. I never had this to begin with. And in my experience, I was already looking up to these people and wanting to be like them before anybody started commenting about how I look like. So for me, it's very much deep rooted in the admiration type of thing versus the idea that somebody is telling me like I look bad or I'm not good enough. I have to like keep banking on that and listen to that.
One thing you just mentioned is like it can be bad. I want to change that for a second because all emotion is important. It's positive. Even difficult emotions are important and can be positive. They emotions is energy emotion. It's part of us that wants our attention. And when we resist that emotion, we lock it out. It bangs on the door and then it gets louder and stronger. And this is where if we don't provide understanding and self-compassion to ourselves, like we get triggered and then all of a sudden we have an outburst. Maybe we start bawling our eyes out or we get really, really angry. It's because we suppressed emotion so much that wanted our attention, and eventually it kicked down the door. Your emotion will either come out in two ways. One way you have control of, and the second way you don't. Self compassion will give you the ability to show up for those emotions, show up for parts of yourself so that you can understand and hear it and then give it what it's telling you. A lot of times, self compassion comes from childhood mini traumas, big traumas. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Stuff that we don't even remember, don't even notice until we provide that space for ourselves.
I think it's a crazy idea for me that some of the stuff that is super deep rooted is kind of blanked out.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you're thinking, I feel that way. Why do I feel that way? Then you start digging deep and you're like, oh, dude, this door was left in the corner of my house with spider webs and cobwebs on it. And I haven't gone out the back door, not the poop hole, but I haven't gone out the back door in a while. So
And it's still
now,
there, right?
yeah.
Until it's processed, it's still there and it will control your life even if you don't understand or know it.
And thinking about your whole knocking down the door thing, that door is rotted and I can open it with a simple push. So
Mm.
finding that new emotion that I or that emotion that's been sitting there for a while and I haven't thought about it, the moment I think about it even just a little bit, it all comes crashing down. We're going analogical today. Analogy, and
So I guess the first part of the topic, why why do people struggle with self-compassion? Comparison, trauma, even like not getting the attention that we need as kids. I'm going through this right now. My dad, he has a lot of narcissistic tendencies. He's never been diagnosed, but I would consider him a narcissist. And there was neglect growing up. I grew up in a hoarder house. Parents were divorced, so half the time I was at the hoarder house. On my mom's side, I got a lot of love, a lot of attention. But when I wasn't with her, I got none, basically. And a lot of my words, a lot of what I said or my opinions, my dad would shut down and basically unconsciously tell me that I'm wrong and that everything is my fault, that the hoarder house is us kids' fault, that we don't pick up after ourselves and all these things. And it comes down to neglect. I All I wanted was to feel heard, to feel loved, to feel appreciated, to feel seen. But I was taught to not be that way. And it continued. And that's why it was so difficult to tell myself, I love you, I care about you, I forgive you, I'm here for you, because I didn't believe it, because I believed my dad.
if this makes you feel better, that house would have been dirty with or without you.
Oh, 100%. I mean, yeah, it's still dirty.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing you can take away too, is how are these people that have been criticizing me my entire life, how are they doing when I'm not there? Then you can really see where they're kind of coming from.
Right. You know, now that you say it, there's this quote that can really help people who are struggling from self compassion begin to provide self compassion for themselves. And this quote can go in any area of your life. Only take advice from people in the area that you wish you could trade places with them. So if someone's telling you that you're a piece of shit, would you trade places with how they talk to themselves? No.
Or trade places in the life situation they're currently in.
Exactly. If someone that's dead broke is giving you financial advice, would you listen to them? I hope not.
It's like listening to a debt collector telling you how to get out of debt. It's
Exactly.
it's such an oxymoron. It's so weird. It's so weird that some of these people feel entitled to do that. It's like if I went out onto YouTube with 80 subscribers and I said, "How to get 1 million views," and I don't have a video that has 1 million views. Like, oh, this guy's weird. There was this one post I did That was like, that was, oh, I'm doing the like thing again. I'm catching it. Where I posted a simple video about getting into the gym and how simply driving there and you being in that parking lot is enough for you to go inside because you already drove to the gym. All you got to do is walk in there and you'll do something. Anything. It could be, you could be in there for 10, 15, 20 minutes and it would be better than if you didn't go at all. Somebody in the comments section said, "Damn, looks like you need to go to the gym." I was like, "Oh shit." And it was the only comment on that video. The only comment. And so I was like, "Okay, what can I take away from this?" One, people will be mean for absolutely no reason. Two, it is insanely hard to make everybody happy. So I'm just going to try and make myself happy.
You can't make everyone happy. I
Oh,
cannot
oh, for
make
sure.
Alex happy. It's a choice for you to be happy. I can try
You
to
could.
influence, but at the end of the day, I can give you everything you need. But if you don't want to be happy, you're not going to be happy.
I know. And so dealing with that self-compassion again, am I listening to this guy's words and taking it directly to heart? No, I can't. I can't. Old Alex would be fuming. But you know what I did instead? I grabbed 3 of my accounts that I have on YouTube and I commented underneath, fueling whatever he said. "Oh, damn, you're right. Yeah, tell that fat guy." Yeah, and I just kept like going because I was like, this is like so stupid. And it took so much effort to do this to myself. I can't imagine doing that to somebody else. So that's my whole little shtick with self compassion.
Yeah. Self compassion changed my life, man. I went from hating myself to unconditionally loving myself primarily with self compassion. And in the beginning, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel truthful. But when we start challenging the lies that we've been told our entire life, whether it is verbal telling us or by example, like what we'll notice is that self-compassion is probably the most important thing that someone can give to oneself that we're not giving to ourselves. If the world provided self-compassion, compassion to themselves, I don't think we'd have wars. It's from the ego. The ego is always trying to protect us. And a lot of times the ego uses past experiences as truth. And it tells us what we've been told our entire life. And
You've
so,
heard of the idea of like an ego death, right?
oh yeah, I've gone through one. Well, I don't know. Now that I think of it, I don't know if I went through the full thing because some of that self criticism came up when I stopped practicing. So I wonder if I never went through the full ego death or if it, started developing again.
Hmm.
Because I
Comes
still
and goes.
notice judgment coming up and things like that. And that's all ego. That's not your Neo, your true self is unconditional love, it's bliss, it's enjoyment, it's ascension, enlightenment. There is no judgment because you see past the veil. The veil is the character. The truth, the I am, the soul is behind that. The character is just an accumulation of experiences here on earth.
That is deep, deeper than the rotten door I mentioned
Truth.
before. It's truth, and truth hurts, man. Truth hurts, especially with self compassion. You'll find things that are truthful about you, and you might even start not liking it, right? I'm not tripping.
No, no, that's spot on. Like at first you may not like it, but once you provide self-compassion and begin to change the way you talk to yourself, you'll realize you'll become hyper aware of how you criticize yourself. And anytime someone criticizes someone else, it means that they criticize themselves first. They always do. If you provided so much love and joy and compassion to yourself and poured this unconditional, overflowing, high vibration love into yourself, that's what you're giving to the world. If you ever hear me judging someone else, criticizing someone else, it just means that at one point recently, I did that to myself. So when I view people that are super negative in life, I'm just like, damn, they need love, man. When someone
Do you
flips me off or honks at me, I'm like, man, I love you. You need love. Here's some love. Now, I don't, there's a difference from not holding people accountable, like my dad. I need to hold him accountable, partly to help him see that his actions are causing uh, certain effects in his own life so that if he wants to grow through them, he can. And that, I release some of that anger that's still inside me, those frustrations, different things.
do you believe that all bullies have been bullied? That's why they bully?
Absolutely. And it doesn't mean that they were verbally bullied or physically bullied. Maybe they were neglected. At one point, I was a bully, and a lot of it comes from the neglect that my dad had towards me. I needed something as a child that I didn't get, and it's an insecurity that's planted. And then all of a sudden, I see someone that's vulnerable, and I get some of that need, some of that attention when I bully them. I get attention because other people are laughing, other people are, right? I used to bully teachers, bro, in middle
Oh,
school.
you were that kid,
I was
huh?
that kid. I'd make fun of them out loud in front of I was the class clown. And I've forgiven myself. I understand this, but also they have um the person that I'm bullying, it's part of their experience that they chose as well. And I'm learning this right now, the fact that we choose our life before we're here, but life is just accumulation of lessons that souls need to learn from. And that's how we reach enlightenment. That's how we reach ascension. That's ultimately how we become one with God again, is by learning these lessons and diving inward and upgrading ourselves, healing ourselves to reach this love, reach this peace, this joy.
You're so poetic. Very hard.
Thank
I
you.
can't articulate myself like you do. Very good at it.
How can you be self compassionate towards yourself right now with that? Because the moment you say you don't, you put a you lock you like close all doors and you lock it. And this is where words, being aware of what we say, is so important too. And I don't mean to be the coach today, but
Please. I need as much help as I can get. Please.
we all do. I do too. I
God
have,
help
dude,
me.
I'm going to therapy and I have a coach. So
Good on you.
yeah, it'll probably be that way forever. I'm always learning. I want to take advice from someone that's living the life that I want to live. And I'm just continuing to upgrade. But the moment you say, I don't, you're creating a part of your identity that closes you from an opportunity to upgrade. Right now, I struggle with is a better statement because it leaves a door open for you to walk through.
Right now, I am struggling with filler words like and right, So, I'm trying to get better at that. I hope you have noticed within the last episode or two. Oh my God,
Take this.
listening to the first and second episode was so hard. It was so hard. I almost like switched it off like, well, there you go again. I almost switched it off like fuck, I did it again. I almost switched it off 3 or 4 times.
Now that you're aware of it, you're making that change. If you were
Hard,
never
dude.
aware of it, and this change, this discipline that you're making, the tide raises all ships. So as you increase this area, you're going to increase other areas. How you do one thing is how you do everything. That's why when people make their bed, it's a win. It creates other areas of wins.
That makes sense.
And
Showing
if you're
yourself that
negative to
self love.
yourself, you're negative to other people. If you don't clean up after yourself, more than likely, you're not very structured and very chaotic.
If self love is making your bed and wiping your ass, then you are doing fantastic and you're doing those things every day. Right?
Every day.
Right?
Yes, it's important to say, hell yeah, fuck yeah, I brushed my teeth today. Why not? We could have chosen not to. Why
I could
self-compassion
have
is
had
celebrating
yellow
the wins.
teeth.
If you struggle with self-compassion out there, Look at your day and write down everything that you did well, that you didn't have to.
I can attest to that. That is a very solid way of looking at it because we only remember the bad parts at the end of the day.
See, there's a statement again. We only remember the bad parts. But that's not true, right? Because you do. You remember the good parts, right?
I want to say majority of people, of I want to say majority of people at the end of the day are so focused on the negative thing that happened, they forget about the grace and the goodness that has happened.
Mhm.
So
And
writing
we're
down those
changing
things
that.
of how I did well, I submitted a report on time. I went to work. I got there. I drove there safely. I came back home safely. That's a blessing in and of itself. I could be in the hospital. I could be choking on my water instead of drinking it and it going down my throat. These are all stupid, simple things, but I promise they have so much value, especially if all you can do is think negatively.
You know what I do in my sessions?
What do you do?
The
Tell me.
first thing I do, and I've started this, the first thing I do is I ask, tell me one thing that's been really good that's happened in your life since the last time I saw you. I do that. And I do it at the end too. At the end of our session, I say, what's one thing that you're proud of about yourself today? At least one thing that you're proud of about yourself today. And then also, a lot of the times, I'll mute myself and I'll turn away from the camera so they can see that I'm not watching them. And I have them mute themselves. I have them look in the camera and I have them talk to themselves. I have them tell themselves, whatever compassionate thing that they can. And if it's really quick, if it's like 5 seconds and they come back on, I say, okay. And I'm like, that is absolutely wonderful. You leaned into what's uncomfortable. And I'd like to offer, if you're okay with it, what I want you to do is slow down and provide a little bit more detail around it. And so it's these 1% growth changes. So many of us want to help other people. Self-compassion is really struggle, or people that are people pleasers struggle with self-compassion. They're so focused on adding value to other people that they forget about themselves. And this is why it's so important to take care of yourself first so that you can be that example of someone for someone else to take care of themselves. That provides a stronger change in life than telling someone, I love you. It's being the example. It's embodying the emotion of love, not just saying the word love.
Damn. Does the Reddit post ask the same question?
Reddit time. Woo, woo, woo. I
My
love self.
transitions are getting pretty good. I'm just saying.
Dude, so good. I could talk about self compassion all day because I had zero of it and I ended up reaching 100%. So I know exactly how difficult it is. I know how to do it. Just grow 1% every single day. But why is self compassion so hard? And this is from Total Space Case. This is, the title is Why is Self Compassion So Hard? I'm starting to realize that often when I feel the need to chase the fire, what I likely need is self compassion. As much as I hate to admit, strength and toughness have limits, and it's not just reasonable to expect to always fight forever. I'm only human. And then they go on to say, so cultivate more self compassion, right? Cue the most exasperating groan. So that's them. Especially given my disabilities, I see that I'd need a lot of self compassion daily. Maybe not every day, but on average. Some for myself in the present, the past, and the future, and that I would need less if I was just better. After all, if I was better than life, if I was better than, man, they're wording. So after all, if I was better, then life would be easier and I wouldn't put all that effort into keeping up my self-worth. I'd just stay up if I was perform I'd just stay up if I perform well enough to keep it there, wouldn't I? So why does all this seem easier than just giving myself compassion? That was really difficult to read. But
Yeah.
that's okay. Let me offer some self-compassion. I am Thank you, Total Space Case, for being vulnerable and open. It sounds like you've already created a lot of awareness for yourself, and that's huge. It just means that you're on the right path to providing more and more self compassion for yourself. What I would like to, well, before I talk so much, since I've been talking so much today, Alex, take the mic.
I feel like I've been babbling all day. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'll take the mic.
No, 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 no. You passed it. I gotta use it. It seemed like before any self-compassion was there, there was the idea that if I was better already, I wouldn't have to do this. I don't really know how to respond to that because in order to get better, you do have to work on yourself. It's one of those things where 100% of all the people that have ever worked hard on themselves, like not always reach the top 1%, but the top 1% worked 100% to be at the top. So anybody that is in the top percentage of helping themselves has at one point worked as hard as they could to do it. And I feel like he's not giving himself the grace of trying self compassion first before just assuming that if he was better already, he wouldn't have to do it. Because if he was better already, that means he would have had to work towards that.
Right. It's almost like a victim mentality.
Yeah,
And this is the difference between holding a victim mentality versus healing. A victim mentality says, poor me, I'm not good enough, and then does nothing about it. Right? They stay in the muck, they stay there. Whereas healing is saying, I'm not good enough, my life sucks, I don't love myself, but I want to grow. And they
I w-
lean into
yeah,
what's uncomfortable.
I want to
This
try to grow.
Right. And I think they're on that border because one thing, yeah, let me find it. If I was better, then life would be easier. You already are. You're enough. You're behind the mask that you wear in life. You're enough. The issue is that you're wearing masks. It's not you. It's not your true self. It's this facade. It's this makeup that you put on as a child or as a young adult, more than likely as a child, that you don't even know is there. You've lived with this makeup for so long that you don't remember putting it on. And it wasn't even necessarily your fault. It could have been your parents. It could have been a teacher. It could have been whoever, a friend, a bully. You didn't even realize that it was putting on. And then they put it on so slowly that maybe we didn't even realize. And so when I hear, you know, like if I was better, my reaction to that is to challenge that. Is you already are enough. You are better. Do you and let's externalize this for a second. If I wanted to provide love to someone else, do I have to provide love to them if they're not perfect? Or can I provide love to them if they're not perfect? Do I have to wait until they're perfect? Until they're enough? No. I love you. Even if they're struggling and they're criticizing and they make mistakes, I love you. I care about you. You're enough. I just want you to believe it. Please believe it. Please believe it. Why do we want that so much for other people, but we struggle to want it for ourselves? It's the lack of knowledge, it's the lack of wisdom, the lack of understanding what life is all about. Life is all about you. It's all about the struggle. It's all about overcoming the struggle.
Yeah.
It's all about looking through the mask, looking through the veil, and knowing that we have always been enough. That's the work. The funny thing is through self development, through upgrading, through enlightenment, through ascension, whatever you want to call it, whatever you're trying to reach, the answer is always the same. I am enough. I have always been enough.
The potential of you living so slim, so minor. Make the most of it that you can.
This
Have you had enough self-compassion today?
I I don't think anybody has ever had enough self compassion, dude. It's like eating the most delicious damn chocolate in the world, man. It's just so fucking good.
The
It's
fuck?
like I love myself. I am so proud of myself.
Yeah, and then I eat chocolate, and then I feel fat, huh? What do you
What's
say
wrong
to
with
that?
eating chocolate?
No, there's
It's
nothing wrong
it's
with eating
it's
chocolate.
that judgment that creates the negativity. It's this cycle. I'm fat because I eat, and I eat because I hate that I'm fat, and I'm
I
fat
eat
because
because
I
I'm
eat.
fat, and I'm fat because I eat.
That's the cycle. Who gives a fuck if you're fat? Who cares? The only person that truly cares is yourself. Nobody else is thinking that. Nobody else is like, especially the people that live like are living in the place of love. They're not looking at you and being like, "Oh fuck, I don't want to talk to that person. They're fat." No, the person that has insecurities and a lot of self judgment and self doubt is the one that's saying that. Would you want to trade places with them?
Probably
On
not. No.
they're wearing a really good mask. That's all it is. It's a fucking mask.
Don't you think humans are inherently judgmental?
No, we aren't bored judgmental. It's learned.
That's factual. Yeah, no, that's factual. But in today's society, would you say so?
No, because I don't want to put that into the universe.
That's valid.
I'd rather look at the positives. I'd rather say there's so many people that have learned judgment that are overcoming it. It's like wearing a pair of glasses. If you wear a pair of glasses that are green, that have green lens, that's what you're going to see in the world. If you wear a pair of glasses that everyone or the majority of people struggle with self compassion, you will find and connect and magnetize yourself to a lot of people that struggle with self compassion. If you change that of like, I lived through self compassion, I lived through enlightenment, I'm constantly providing love to myself, then it's a lens that you wear and you begin to see all these people that are providing so much love and self-compassion to themselves.
You know what I think about a lot? So I've been watching this YouTuber named Alex O'Connor. He is this philosopher from Oxford University, and he is just really intellectual when it comes to philosophy. And there's something like I want to kind of do a parallel of is I think it's called the table theory. I'm not even sure what it is. So let's say the table that is in front of you right now, right? It's made out of wood.
Yep.
So that table has been manufactured in a way where they took the wood and made it into a table, right?
Yes.
Before that table was made, did that table exist?
The table did not, but the wood did as a tree.
But the wood did as a tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the groundwork for us for self-love has always been there, but we have to mold it and shape it into what we want to see.
Mm.
So that's why we always say that we're the universe, because the Big Bang happened, or however you like to see, whether through religion or atheism, however you see it, we all came from practically nothing. Over time, the earth
Same.
evolved, trees came out, the sea, the plant life, the animals, all accumulated so that you could have that plant right behind you that is absolutely fake. And that table that's in front of
My
you,
olive tree that
made
has
out of
olives on it
wood,
year round.
it's the same thing with us and our consciousness. We were always there to begin with. We just have to find it through self-love
Yes,
and compassion.
I love that. So let's end it there. Let's do a little mindful moment and
Yeah,
offer.
mindful minute, guys. We love mindful
Oh yeah,
minute.
mindful minute. I sorry, I'm the VP of the board of the mental health moment. Shout out to them.
Is there
And
any
they
is there any meetings you guys are doing soon, or what's going
events.
on? Yeah.
So in May, go to. Uh, you mind if I do a plug?
Plug.
First plug. So go to Instagram, type in the mental health moment, and you'll find all the information. Or you can go to the website, thementalhealthmoment.org. And we are sponsoring a retreat that I'll be doing a guided meditation on. It's in Las Vegas. And if you want to be a part of that, it's going to be in the month of May. But the mental health moment has our next roundtable event where we tap into the community and help them navigate some stuff, mental health things in July. So the next big event is in July.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to hear. Are we ready for that mindful minute?
Yes. What's the intention?
Mm, ooh. How about this? Find one thing you like about yourself. Just one thing. And think about why you like yourself for that reason. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End scene.
You like how I opened up my eyes right before that?
That was very, very on point. How the fuck did you do that?
It's my body got used to providing mindfulness for a minute. I don't know.
That's bogus. You had your eye crinkled open. I don't believe you. Thank you all for watching. We love you all very much. Thank you for listening. For even
Very
just right
much
now,
so.
the couple of people that are out there just listening, we love you so much. Thank you.
And if you could, if you provided some self compassion and noticed what you like about yourself, if you could just go to the comments and let us know, what you found that you're proud of or you like about yourself. We'd love to hear it.
Love you guys all. See you in the next episode.
Peace out.
Bye.